They've done it. The corpo-lobotomites at Hollywood have arrived with their AI productions. I've made my stance on AI very clear, and how I don't like the way it's being used to replace creativity. Nothing that uses AI has approved anything at all in the entertainment space. They just use it to make everything for cheap by replacing any kind of real talent. And right after Markiplier completely crushed the box office by making a movie the old-fashioned way, I learned another big name in the industry has gone down the AI rabbit hole. Darren Aronofsky, a world-renowned director who, even if you haven't heard his name, you at least know some of his work, such as Requiem for a Dream or The Whale. He is a director with a lot of gusto whom I used to respect, and now he's released an AI production called On This Day 1776. This is a fully AI-generated production about the American Revolution. Not a single actor was used in this, and originally they were going to use AI voices as well, but they decided to try and mitigate the backlash by including some SAG-affiliated voice actors. What a fucking angel. And he tries to use the inclusion of real voice actors as a way to convey this narrative that it's an animated series that balances both technology and craft. But that's a load of horseradish because he did intend to use AI in that department as well. And he's not the first person to try something like this. It was only a couple months ago, Amazon Prime tried to use AI for their English dub of Banana Fish, which consisted of some of the most flat, garbage dialogue imaginable. Well, here it has that same problem, but on a much broader scale. You have one aspect of human creativity. Everything else is AI generated. The visuals, the script, the editing, that's all AI, and they didn't need to hire things like makeup artists or stunt coordinators because of it. Like, that is a terrible, terrible argument to try and make that this balances both technology and craft when there is not a single ounce of human creativity. It's a complete disaster of a series and a terrible idea to try to fully AI generate a show or movie. We all knew this was coming, and it hasn't been great for those in the creative space like myself, but I didn't expect it would be led by someone whom I admired like Darren Aronofsky. The man brought Brendan Fraser back to the industry. He threw him a creative lifeline and helped him win his first Oscar. And now he is more washed than my hands are after I take a fat shit. It's pathetic. Now, before I go through the trailer and start shooting spitballs, I want to mention this. There are some ways AI can be used in this industry that I can actually understand. Best example is with James Earl Jones. James Earl Jones is the iconic voice of Darth Vader, and before he passed, it was his desire to have his voice immortalized forever as Darth Vader. So, as I understand it, he did sign the rights to his voice, allowing AI to recreate his iconic Darth Vader performance because that is what he wanted, to always be remembered as Darth Vader. I think that is somewhat wholesome. I can actually understand that being a good use for AI in the creative space, so long as the person in question gives their consent and their rights don't get exploited. The AI is not replacing anyone in that way. It is being used to preserve their legacy by attaching it to a piece of their work. However, what Darren Aronofsky has done is so far removed, you can't even begin to make an argument in good faith to compare the two. Let me just show you what exactly they're serving.
The rebellious war is become more general.
Too many still unsure of why we fight.
We have it in our power to begin the world over again.
Man, it must have taken Darren a whole couple of hours out of his afternoon to make this. I bet you're glad they didn't hire real actors. Like a one-man show, he really had to put in some effort to create this. Probably his most difficult project yet, where he had to find the right sentences to feed the AI video generation tool he was using. What a piece of shit. I don't know how little taste you have to think this is good. Who appreciates this? I don't know. It looks like something an AI slop channel would pump out, but he couldn't even bother to put Subway Surfers at the bottom of the screen to try and keep us stimulated. And I don't know what SAG-affiliated voice actors they roped into this, but I would hate to have it on my record.
There is no way but forth!
We are now the troops of the United Colonies of North America.
For the purpose of establishing an independent empire.
Did you catch that? Don't worry, I'll replay it back for you if you didn't.
There is no way but forth!
We are now the troops of the United Colonies of North America.
For the purpose of establishing...
As a proud citizen of the United Nations of Amareed, I see no use of AI whatsoever. How could anyone think this was a good idea? They must have had some foresight to know this wouldn't go over well, since they tried to mitigate the backlash by hiring voice actors. They knew this was trash. So I don't know how someone like Darren Aronofsky could fight on the side of AI slop. What a disgusting career change.
Who are you? Massachusetts!
That's not surrender.
Amazing. I don't know why they keep emphasizing experience it like never before when it is the most generic slop ever. It's AI. By its very definition, it means we've seen it a million times before, because that is what the AI has been trained on. You aren't creating anything, you're just using Gen AI to serve up someone else's leftovers. The only difference is, no humans were involved in making it. It's not exciting, it's not new, it's just a worst product because they made it as cheaply as possible without putting in any kind of real effort. I also found this response from the Time Studios president, Ben Battati, to be delusional. This project is a glimpse at what thoughtful, creative, artist-led use of AI can look like. Not replacing craft, but expanding what's possible and allowing storytellers to go places they simply couldn't before. What the f*** is Ben talking about? Let's just suspend disbelief and assume we haven't made a million movies that involve traveling through some snow and the inside of a house. We have made movies that involved traveling through space, alternate dimensions, through time to the future and past, all without needing AI. And this might come as a shock to you, Mr. Bitty Titty, but we have made a million movies that involve traveling through some snow. So if Markiplier can travel through an ocean of blood on a YouTuber's salary, I'm pretty sure you and all the other delusional lobotomites at Hollywood can find a house to film inside the signing of this new nation, Amareed, with y'all's infinite money you seem to have. Show me in this trailer what was so impossible and inaccessible to humans that you needed AI to venture into the unknown. The only thing that's new is that it looks like shit, but I can do that as well by not giving a f***. I should also point out the US copyright law in regards to AI. Work created entirely by AI cannot be copyrighted. There is a legal precedent set where you don't own anything that's AI generated. You can potentially copyright an AI assisted production, provided there is sufficient human creative input, which on this day, 1776, lacks. It does use raw AI outputs, including images, text, music, and videos generated solely by typing a prompt into an AI tool, which I imagine those prompts were just key points in the American Revolution. All of this is not copyrightable because the AI, not the human, performs the traditional elements of authorship. So theoretically, a YouTuber like myself could recreate a Monty Python version of On This Day 7076, but use our own brand and real actors, and David Aronofsky would be left high and dry with his dick in his hand. No, I'm not saying I would do that. I'm just saying anyone could, because evidence suggests the amount of AI used means Darren doesn't actually own any of it. Regardless, however, I hope this flops, because it really is that catastrophic. This whole production is truly awful. It sets a horrible precedent for the future of filmmaking and television productions, and it's here to replace creativity, so that way it's cheaper for those who sit at the top and control this industry. I just had to talk about this, because everything they've said in regards to making On This Day 7076, it's all a lie for the sake of trying to normalize AI productions, so that way they're more comfortable replacing jobs in the creative sector if this succeeds. It actually sucks, and I just wanted to make fun of it. That's really about it. So,